Russia economically is in a really bad spot right now. They've just lost a lot of their young men to the war in Ukraine. You also have a lot of war veterans because of the war in Ukraine, which means you're now having to pay for and take care of them. Uh, and not to mention that Russia's been having to empty out their reserves to pay for everybody to go fight the war in Ukraine. Not to mention having to pay mercenaries. And I have no idea what deals were made with the North Koreans, but um, I, I'm of the mindset that the Russians are economically hurting really bad, and maybe they can sustain the war in Ukraine the next 5 years. But as far as I'm concerned, they've basically sacrificed the long-term viability of their country just by virtue of all the personnel losses and also the brain drain of their own country in the sense that a lot of the uh, educated and technocratic people that have the skills to run Russia or the economic abilities to be entrepreneurs have all left the country and they're living abroad, and they'll probably never come back because they don't want to be conscripted into the military, and they're living a much higher quality of life outside of Russia. And so Russia's in a really precarious spot. And this at the same point also makes them also highly dangerous because they've allied with the Chinese, with the North Koreans, with the Iranians, because it's their only lifeline at this point. And if you're looking at this from a medium to long term perspective, and who's the bigger threat and bigger problem to global stability and the West in general, it's actually the Chinese. And so uh, the future of Russia, I think, actually it really depends on getting the Americans and Europeans integrate Russia into back to being a normal state again and not being a pariah state. And I just don't know how the West is going to be able to do that because they will need to peel off the Russians if they actually intend to actually have uh, like a great power competition or a great power war against the Chinese. Because with the Chinese and Russians allied, you just don't have any ability to actually uh, defeat them in a future crisis or conflict because they just have too much economic strength and raw material and people to do what they need to do and accept major losses that the average Western democracy is unable to do that right now.